Moving on then to a debut EP from a band called Phalanx, Phalanx. It's called Golden Horde. They are a very, very gritty death metal band from Los Angeles. Lyrically specialised in like European and Asian history, but their biggest calling card for me was the fact they have a three-pronged vocal attack. You've got lead vocalist Kia, don't know why I'm struggling with this, Kia Chira Gilchrist, sorry, that's why I'm struggling. He does a lot of like the high-end shriek sort of things, and for all intents and purposes, he is pretty much the lead vocalist. I've seen like some videos and footage, and he is central point, and you can hear it as well in the music that there's more shrieks that happen than the other vocals, which you get to. You've got Josh Townsend, who is the bassist, also does more of a like punk rock kind of grunt. And the comparison I made is Phil Anselmo on Superjoint Ritual. That sort of like kind of snarly sort of shout, as it were. And then on guitars you've got what's his name? Because I only wrote down half it because I'm a great lad. So his name is Sean Glaze. He is an absolute beautiful unit of a human. And I call him beautiful because his handle or his moniker on the lineup to Golden Horde, again on the Cyclopedia Metallum, is Lord Spew, and I think that's fucking wonderful. He's a guitarist, and he also deals with like the low end, proper guttural death metal kind of vocal. And yeah, so they are the three ways that the band vocally attacks their songs. And they bounce between them pretty regularly, and I think the mix that they have in that three-pronged attack, they have done a very good job of it, because it's easy. Like, you look at a lot of the like deathcore bands that came out in the 2000s, and the way they were trying to like smash these high like black metal shrieks with like this low gutturals. And you'd have the bands that made it work, and they were the ones that carried on. So bands like Suicide Silence, Jump for a Cowboy. What's the band that Eddie Hamidi used to be in? So All Shall Perish. And then you had the ones that we don't talk about anymore, which just did not do it right. They just wanted to smash so many things happening at once. But the way they sort of like intertwine these three vocals together, they've done it super well. I've seen like little videos and little snippets of what they're doing as well, and they work quite flawlessly in a live setting on like actually listening to it. And I keep punching my microphone. In essence, they are, like I said, so you've got Jira, who is like front and center. He's often the lead in a vocal, and then he gets backed up by the grunts of Josh, and then just underneath just that bellowing guttural from Lord Spew, as I will give him his proper moniker. And then yeah, oftentimes I like switch it up, and then it still seems A, befitting of the band, B, working well together as a unit. And yeah, I got quite intrigued that finding it, and that was like their major point that they put into a lot of the bio, was that it was a three-pronged death metal attack. And yeah, it was something that could have easily been done really, really shit, but I think they've done a cracking job of it. Musically, I find that it touches a lot of different genres. So it edges on. It's very much a death metal kind of album, but it just edges on the world of like brutal death metal. There's a lot of time changes that makes you think sometimes it goes a little bit techie. There's quite a lot of crust because of Kira and Josh's vocals. But yeah, it still retains a very through and through death metal kind of sound. And one final thing I'll say for it is the production on this album is fucking mint. I've said before that I am a big fan of extreme metal bands, or extreme metal albums, with high levels of production and very crisp production, and making it sound very modern. I'm never really a big fan of like this lo-fi, old school way of doing extreme metal. But this ticks all the boxes for me. It is as much as you can't understand, will you lot fuck off? This is meant to be a lockdown. As much as you cannot understand a word they say because they're just screaming bloody murder in your head. And they haven't got it on Metallum, but I'd love to read the lyrics, especially if they are very history-based kind of lyrics. You can identify like who's singing, the part that's being played, how they're intertwining it with the music, the fucking riffs that Mr. Lordspew will throw out there. I don't think there's much else to say apart from the fact that Phalanx is a very interesting and very encouraging blend of, or attack proponent of death metal. The EP is only 60 minutes long, and yeah, I kind of got a lot of vibes of Job for a Cowboy, as if they were fronted by Mitch Lucker, only if somehow they split Mitch and his vocal patterns 3 ways. Yeah, I think one for the future in Phalanx, and definitely something to be excited by for the future of death metal, especially if they do like a very revised, or continue, sorry, their very high production variant of death metal. So, yeah, one to look for, definitely want to give it, go in on if you are a big fan of death metal. They're called Phalanx, Phalanx, and the EP is called Golden Horde.